Okay, so what we're going to do for this assignment is this is our Word Chapter 2. So we're going to go in and we're going to start Word. Okay, make sure that your screen is maximized. So if it looks like this, go ahead and click that maximize or restore down button. Okay, we're going to turn on our formatting marks. So if your formatting marks are not turned on, if it looks like this, go ahead and turn on your formatting marks. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to go over here. We're going to make sure that it says normal. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to right click in our normal quick styles gallery. Okay, we're going to go down and we're going to click on modify. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to modify the normal style of this document. So we are going to change it to 12-point font. Excuse me. Okay, 12-point font. We're going to change it to Times New Roman. Times New Roman is standard for like APA formatting, MLA style. So you can just scroll down until you find it is all alphabetical. LMNOP, QRST, Times New Roman. That's the standard font. 12 is the standard size. Okay, so once you've changed that, we're going to click the OK button. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to adjust the line spacing on our document. Okay, the line spacing on our document is by default set to 1.15. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to change it to 2.0. Okay, we want to double space it. And we want to remove the extra space after the paragraphs. Okay, now what we're going to do is, we still want this to be in our normal style paragraph. Okay. We want this to be our standard normal style. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to update normal to match selection. Okay, so now our line spacing all matches. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to insert a header. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to insert a header into our document. So we're going to go to the Insert tab. Okay, we're going to click on Header over here in the Header and Footer group. We're going to click on Header. Now you can see that we have a lot of different choices here. Okay, you've got blank, 3 columns, alphabet, annual. If you scroll down, you can see you've got a lot of different choices here. Okay, they're all very pretty. Okay, but when you're writing a paper, okay, when you're writing a standard paper for school, you want to do just a standard header with no formatting on it. So what you're going to do is you're just going to go into Edit Header. That puts us in the header portion of the document. Notice we have this dotted line here. Okay, that indicates that we're in the header portion of the document. Actually, if we scroll down, you can see that we're in the footer now. We can go down, we can navigate down to the footer here. Even though we clicked on header to get here, we can actually navigate down to our footer. Okay, we want to be in the header. Okay, now if you look at this paragraph, you can see it's kind of hard to tell, but this paragraph is actually sort of grayed out. Now I can actually, go down and I can type down here, and I can put all sorts of things down here, but you don't want to do that while this little header thing is blue. You don't want to do that because anything you type is going to be the header portion of the document. You don't want to do that, okay? Once you are done with the header, you want to make sure you leave the header portion of the document by clicking on Close Header and Footer. Now you may have noticed that we have a contextual tab that popped up here. While we're in the header part of the document, this contextual tab will be available to us. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a header into our document. What we want to do is we want to go to, and we can right align, left align. You don't have to stay in this header tab. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our home tab. We want to right align our paragraph. Now what that's going to do is it's going to align our paragraph up with the right side of our document. and we want to type in some information. Now what we're going to do is we're going to type in the information provided in the book. So we're going to type Marino. Instead of our last name, we're going to type in Marino. Okay, and we're going to type the space bar. Okay, now the next thing that we want to do is we want to insert a page number. Now, if we just type 1, okay, then I'm going to show you something. Don't do this, just watch. If I insert a page break, okay, now look, it still says 1. This isn't the first page, this is the second page. See, I can see right there, it says page 2 of 2. So that doesn't help me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete this page break. I'm going to go back up into my header area. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this 1 because actually, let me undo all that and go back down here. Okay, let me go back down here. Now watch, if I change this to a 2 in the header, watch what happens. So I go back up here, oh, it changed it to a 2. So you can't just number in the headers because everything in the header is going to be exactly the same in every single header. So how do I put in a page number? If you go into your header and footer tools, okay, in your design tab, or you can do this in the insert tab as well. Okay, you can do your page number here in the insert tab, or in your header and footer tools, you can do your page number here. We're going to insert a page number. Okay, we don't want to do it here. Okay, top of page, bottom of page, page margins. We want to do it in the current position. Okay, we want it to be where we say it is. Now, look, there's lots of different types of page numbers. We can do pretty page numbers, fancy page numbers, whatever. Okay, we want to do just a plain page number. Put a page number where it is. Now, if I go down to page 2, now it's page 2. That's how I want it to be. I want it to be page 2 on page 2, page 1 on page 1. Okay, so now I can go in here and I can get rid of my page break because I don't need it. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do now is we're going to close our header. Now, there's a couple ways that we can do this. Okay, we can click on close header footer here. Okay, or we can double click in the body, anywhere in the body of the paper we can click. Okay, so you can click anywhere in the body of the paper and that'll take care of it. Okay, that'll close the header. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go down into the next section of the paper, okay, and we're going to type the course information. So, Annalisa Marino, Mr. Winters, English 101, April 4, 2012. Okay, now, what we're going to do now is we're going to use something called click to type. Now, if we want to center something in the document, now, if you look at my mouse, okay, if I move over to the left, notice if you look at my cursor, you can see to the right of the cursor, you can see those bars that kind of looks like text. Kind of looks like up here, doesn't it? Okay, if I click and start typing here, it's going to be left aligned. If I double click and I start typing here, it's going to be center aligned. See how those lines moved underneath my cursor? Now if I click and start typing, it's going to be center aligned. I can move over to the side here. Okay, now it's going to be, see, it's still left aligned. If I move all the way over here, now it's right aligned. Okay, so if I move here, it's going to be left aligned. Okay, so if I click here, it's left aligned. But if I move here, it's going to be center aligned. So now here I click and start typing, and it's going to be center aligned. Okay, so I type can, oops, messed that up. Can you find me now? Okay, so I type that, and that's my header. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save my document, so I'm going to do File, Save As. Okay, I'm just going to save this on my desktop. And I'm going to call this triangulation paper. Triangulation paper. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to display our rulers. Now, you can see that I have my rulers here. They're on the top and on the left. Okay, if you don't have them, you go over to the right above the vertical scroll bar. We're going to click that. Now you can see they're gone. If you click, they reappear. Okay, this is a toggle button, meaning you can turn things on and turn things off here. So what we're going to do is we're going to toggle to turn our rulers on. Okay, we want to toggle to turn rulers on. Okay, we're going to go down to the next line, press enter, left justify. You can click to type if you want, just double click on the left side of your paragraph. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to set up a first line indent. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to our ruler. Now you see this hourglass looking thing. What we're going to do is we're going to move to the top. We're going to grab this top triangle. Don't grab it here, okay, because that's going to move the whole triangle. That's going to move the bottom triangle. Okay, if you grab the square on the bottom, that'll move the whole thing. You want to grab the top triangle and just drag it across. What that does is it creates a first line indent. We're going to drag it right to that ½ inch mark. Okay, you can see that ½ inch mark kind of shows up. What that is that's called a first line indent. Okay, and what that does is that indents just the first line of the paragraph. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start typing my first paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to type, how is a Nintendo Wii console able to determine the location of a Wii remote while a player interacts with a game? Okay, so I have my first line. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type, and we talked about this a little bit, about autocorrect. So I'm going to type TEH. Okay, now I want that to be the, but watch, this is autocorrect. When I press the space bar, it automatically corrects to the. Now, if I don't want it to be the, if I wanted it to be TEH, you can see I've got this pull down menu here. Okay, I can mouse over the word. Okay, I can pull down that menu and I can change it back to TEH. So maybe you wanted TEH. I can stop automatically correcting, or I can control my autocorrect options. Okay, controlling my autocorrect options, if I open this, you can see that I can go down here, TEH, QRST, there it is right there, TEH, oops, TEH. Okay, there it is, automatically changes TEH to THE. Okay, you can add your own too, like if you accidentally type something wrong, if you type, well, I'll do my name. Let's say I accidentally type my name this way, and I'm not supposed to. Oh, well, there, look, apparently I put my name in there once before. So I've put my name in there before, apparently. So let's say I type it with only one N, because I don't make that double type. I can have it automatically correct to 2 N's. Okay? So you can add your own. So if you have a mistake that you make all the time, you can add your own mistakes in there. Start a new paragraph. Now, notice when I hit the paragraph key, it automatically starts a new line tabbed in. So I don't have to type a new tab. It automatically starts it at that first line indent. That's what that first line indent does for you. Okay, so our next line, surveyors. Supposed to be create. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to change our bibliography style. So we're going to go into references. Now it says APA. We want it to be MLA. So we're going to pull this down and we're going to choose MLA 6th edition. Okay, so what that does is it just changes our formatting style for our references, so that when we put in a reference, it's going to do the style that we need. Okay, it's going to ask us for the information that we need. So what we're going to do now is we're going to insert a citation. We're going to add a new source. Now, if you pull this down, you're going to see there's lots of different options. We've got book section, journal article, article and a periodical, conference report, website. Website is probably the one you're going to be using the most. Okay, but there's lots of different options. We want to do article and a periodical. Article and a periodical. Okay, so it tells you what we want to fill in. So you want to fill in as many of these as you can. So Jane's Malila is the author. The title is Surveyors Measure and calculate angles. And you want to be careful on your spelling here because it's not going to spell check in here. It's going to spell check in it's going to spell check once you put it into your paper, but it's not going to spell check here. Today's modern surveyor. Year is 2012. Month is March. And pages are 30 through 48. 30 through 48. Okay? And then we're going to click OK. And what it's going to do is it's going to insert. That's the proper reference for this. So we don't have to do any work. It automatically puts in the right information for us. Okay? Now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to edit the citation. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on it, and it brings a little pull-down menu, so we're going to pull that down. And what we're going to do is we're going to edit our citation. And I'm going to change my pages to 30 through 48. Okay. And I just added those in. And actually, I noticed that I made a mistake on my source, so I can just go into Edit Source, and this is James. Okay, so now I've fixed it. Okay, so now it has the page number in it as well. And there should not be a period here. Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is, and there should only be one space after your point. Okay, and then we're going to save just to make sure. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to insert a footnote. Okay, so if you look, we can see we're already in the right tab to do this because you can see insert footnote right here. So we want to make sure our insertion point is where we want our footnote, and we're going to click on insert footnote. And what it does is it takes us to the bottom of the page. You see that it puts a 1 here and it puts a 1 here. Okay, it puts a nice little separator line. And now what we want to do is we want to type the footnote. So we're going to do Cordoba, and Sarkis state that electronic theodolites calculate angles automatically and then send the calculated angles to a computer for analysis. Okay, so now what we have is we have our footnoted text. Okay, now what we can do is, let's say we did our research for this and we have a note for it, but we forgot who said it. We forgot to write down our information, or maybe we have our information for it at home and we're working on this at school. So what we want to do is we want to insert a citation, but we don't have the information. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a placeholder. Just a reminder to tell us we need to come back here and we need to put in a footnote or a reference. Okay, so there we put it. It's a reminder that we have to come back and we have to finish this work. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to modify the footnote style. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, we're going to click and we're going to right click. Okay, we're going to go to Style. Okay, now this is our paragraph style, or our footnote, I'm sorry, our footnote style. So what we want to do is we want to modify the footnote. You can see that footnote text is selected. It says footnote text. We want to modify the way that it looks. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to choose Modify. Okay. Or choose Modify. We want it to be our footnote text. Okay, we want it based on normal, that's fine. Footnote text is fine. What we're going to do is we're going to change it to 12 point. Okay, we're going to double space it. This is single space, this is 1.5 space, this is double space. So we're going to double space it. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our paragraph command. Okay, and we're going to go to our indent and we're going to choose a first line indent. Okay, and then we're going to choose OK. Okay. Apply. Okay, now you see what it does here? We have a first line indent. Okay, so just like our paragraphs. It's 12 points. See, if I click on it here and I go up here, I can see that it's 12 point. Okay, so what we've done is we've modified the footnote style. Now, whenever we go in and we do another footnote, it's going to do it in the same style. All right, now, when we're ready to change this, we're ready to actually put in our information, we can click on it just like we did up here, and we can edit the source. Okay, just like I did before. Now, it doesn't have any information because it doesn't really know what it is. So what we're going to do is this time we're going to make it a book. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit this time because we have more than one author, and it's usually easier to do more than one author by using this edit tab. So our first one is Cordoba. Cordoba, and his first name is Nicholas, and his middle initial is E. So then we're just going to add him. And then the next person is Sarkis, and her name is Kara, and her middle initial is A. We're going to add her, and we're going to choose OK. Now see, it goes ahead and it puts that in there for us, so we don't have to worry about the format and where the semicolons go and where the commas go and everything like that. It just makes it a lot easier for us. Okay, so this is the surveyors. Theodolite formula, which sounds very complicated. That's a new word for me, theodolite. Orlando and Orange County Press. Okay. Now, I don't need Cordoba and Sarkis because I said Cordoba and Sarkis up here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this. I'm going to edit my citation. I'm going to suppress the author. Okay, because I don't need that. Okay, I'm going to suppress the title. I'm going to put in what page number it was. It was page 25. And I'm going to choose OK. And it's going to reformulate my, my reference appropriately. So what it's doing is now, we know it's Cordoba and Sarkis. So it's just telling me what page it's on. It was on page 25. Okay, if I don't suppress that year, or that title, see, it's going to put that title in there. Okay, if this is my only book by Cordoba and Sarkis, I don't need that title in there. Okay, so I can suppress that. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to enter some more text. So we're going to go back into the, make sure you leave the footnote. Leave the footnote. Go back into your text, into the body of your paper, and finish typing. Okay, now what's going to happen is we're going to find out that we have automatic page breaks. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to references and we're going to add a new citation. Okay, this one's going to be a website. Okay, now you're not always going to have an author for a website, so don't worry if you don't have an author. What we're going to do here is we're going to show all the fields. Sometimes you have additional fields that you want to add. So if you have additional fields but you don't see them, just click on that Show All Bibliography Fields. The ones with the red star are the recommended fields that you should fill out. Okay, so what we have is we have the author text box is going to be Sanders Gregory B. The name of the web page is going to be Understanding Satellites and Global Positioning Systems. Okay, the production company, there's not always a production company, but sometimes there is. This is going to be Course Technology. Okay, the year accessed is going to be 2012. Okay, we're going to put February as the month, accessed, and the day accessed, we're going to put the 27th. Okay, and then the URL, we're going to type in the address. Now, it's usually best now it says here that the latest documentation style does not need a URL, so they do not give a URL here. So MLA apparently does not require a URL, so we're not going to do a URL. Okay, so that's Sanders. And your period goes after the site. Okay, now if it's necessary, what we're going to do is we're going to edit the citation. It says according to Sanders, so it's silly to put Sanders as the citation. So we're going to edit citation, and we're going to suppress the author. When we suppress the author, what's going to happen is it's going to put the next best thing. So in this case, it's going to put the title. Okay, so then we're going to move on to the next thing. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and save the document with the same file name. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a page break. So you can do a page break in a couple of ways. You can go to the insert and you can do a page break, or you can hold down your control key and press enter. Okay, if you do that, you can see that's going to enter a page break. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go to the home ribbon. Okay, make sure that you've got normal selected. Okay, we're going to center our text. You can do Control E. Remember, it's not Control C, it's Control E, because Control C is copy. And we're going to type Works Cited as our title. Okay, and then we're going to do Control L. Oops, undo. Press Enter, then Control L to left align the paragraph. Okay, then what we want to do is we want to enter a bibliography. Now to do that, we're going to have to go to the references. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to bibliography, and we don't want to do one of these. We want to go to insert bibliography. Okay, and what that's going to do is it's going to put a bibliography in the format of your normal paragraph style. Okay, now your second lines should be indented. Should have a hanging, that's called a hanging indent. When I go up here, look up at your ruler. See how that bottom triangle is indented? That's because that's a hanging indent. That means that every line underneath the first line is going to be indented. Okay, now it tells you that you need to modify a source and update a bibliography. Update the bibliography. So what we're going to do, if you need to change a source once it's already in the bibliography, what we need to do is go to Manage Sources. Manage Sources. Now, if you look at my source list, you see my master list? Okay, these are what I'm using in my current document. But look at this. These are all my books that I've used. All my books, all my websites, things like that I've been using. I'm going to school too, so I use a lot of books. You can see, if you look at these first couple, you can see accountants, CPA, accountants, accounting, and accounting. You can probably guess I'm taking accounting as my major. So let's say that I'm using a book that I use, like a past book. I can just take this and I can add it into my current bibliography. So I can go and I can find something. If I'm not sure what it is, maybe I'm looking for something that's, I remember it was qualitative. Qualitative. See, I can go and I can find it and I can add it to my list. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, so you can add things to your list of current sources. Okay, so here's my list of current sources. We're not doing that right now, but just so you know, you can all these old sources that you've used before, you don't have to add them again. You can just copy them over and use them. Okay, so what we're going to do is you want to change this one. This one right here. Okay, you want to edit this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Edit. Okay, and we want to change measure distance and calculate angles. Okay, how they measure distance and calculate angles. Okay, so you need to update that to make it correct. Press OK. The source exists in your master list. This is my master list over here. Okay, yes, I want to update my master list. Okay, then close. Now, it's not updated here. What I need to do here is I need to update field. Okay, now you see that it's corrected. Measure distance and calculate angles. Okay, notice that this is alphabetical already. So I don't have to worry about going through and making it alphabetical. Okay, now if I want to convert this field, notice when I click on this, click out, click in. Okay, the whole thing lights up. Okay, that means that it is a field. It's not regular text. Okay, if you want to convert this to regular text, you can convert it by you want to do Control Shift F9. Okay, now it's just text. Now it's just text. So now, if I want to update my fields, I can't. Okay, so if I change something on this bibliography, I can't do it. Okay, so I can't like update the fields. I can't, if I want to make changes to this, I need to make changes to this. I can't make it on my field list. Okay, so if you want to do that, so it's Control Shift F9. Okay, if you want to put it back, you can just undo. Okay. All right, I'm not going to go through the copying and cutting and pasting. You should probably go through this starting on page 113. Go through this yourself. Learn how to use the find and replace dialog box. The find and replace, actually, I'll go through this. This is the find and replace. Notice that now it's a task pane. It's not it used to be a dialog box. If I want to find, let's say I want to find we, okay? It's going to find it this way. It lists all of the paragraphs where we is located, okay? But if I want to replace, it's still going to be a dialog box. So if I want to replace we, what do they replace? They replace we console with we game console. And then you can either replace or replace all. If you replace all, it's going to replace all of them. It was only in one place, apparently. Oh, no, it was in 3 places. Okay? So what it's done now is all the places where it found Wii console, it changed it to Wii game console. Okay? So that's a lot easier than find and replace. Okay? You also have this. This is your go to page. Okay? So you can go to a specific page in the text. Okay, so you can navigate through your text. It's really a lot easier to navigate through your text that way. And then again, your results from your search. Okay, if you want to find and insert a synonym, okay, so like say you want to find a synonym to measure, you can go to synonyms and find one. So maybe I want to do quantity, and it just changes it. Obviously, that's not going to work, but you can use right click to do that. And then of course always remember to do spelling and grammar check. Okay, Sarkis, we know that that's going to be correct all the way through, and so my spelling and grammar is complete. So make sure that you always check that. Okay. To print has gotten weird. It looks kind of weird, but all you're going to do is do this print page, pull down to choose which printer you want to use. Okay, you can print here, you can print all pages, you can print select pages, like if you just want 1 or 1 to 2. And then if you know, depending on what your printer can do, you can print different things like that. Okay. All right, so that's it for this assignment, and hope that that helps, and make sure that you get your other assignments done on time and turned in.